The third session of the meeting will resume. We are now at this final stage. Hopefully everyone can follow the rules of the council. You should raise your hands and or ring the bell and speak one by one. Mr. Fernando Cheng mentioned one final issue, and I invited the legal counsel to give an answer. And after the answer, some members were not satisfied. I'd like to reiterate my view before the members speak. The legal counsel said very clearly that for Rule 37A of the FC procedure in the past, the number of motions allowable has not been discussed in the past. However, if the effects of these motions mean that the function of the meeting is compromised, then this is not the intent of the Rule 37A, and this is exactly the issue we are discussing today. At around 7 p.m. tonight, we invited colleagues to sit down and have a discussion on how we tackle the remaining motions. But regardless, I will give you a chance to speak later on. I will make a conclusion later on. But I do hope that everyone is reasonable. We can have a sensible discussion. We should put a cap on the number of motions moved in order to ensure the smooth running and completion of the meeting. So it doesn't mean that we have no upper limit or cap, but ultimately the chairman is responsible for a decision. Members might have different views or disagree, so I would give each of you 3 minutes to speak. You can press the button if you wish to speak. 3 minutes for each member. First, Mr. Fernando Cheng. Chairman, don't make me an example. First of all, just now you invited members to for a discussion on how we proceed with the meeting. When I went in, Frankie Yik was there for a moment, and Emily Lau was also there, and there was the three of us there. You said of the more than 600 motions, most of them are from me. You hope that I reduced the number of motions from more than 600 to about 10 or 20, and I rejected the idea immediately. You said if the number of motions is not reduced drastically, you think that under Rule 37A, each member can only move one motion, and I disagree with this point, as I already mentioned. You want to reduce the number of motions from us, and you are trying to restricting the power of LegCo to monitor the government. This is something we cannot compromise. I did not promise anything. I only said I would forward your views to my colleagues. But please don't give the impression that something has already been agreed during that the meeting in that room. I don't agree with your interpretation of Rule 37A whatsoever. It has been discussed very thoroughly. What the legal counsel said was, in past practice, under 37A, some members had raised more than, had moved more than one motion, and multiple motions were moved. If our practice is to allow multiple motions, then if you had allowed multiple motions, why are you having this restriction now? Why are you only allowing one motion? Why don't you take care of my motions? You never had the power to stop us from moving motions. And under Rule 46, you have no power to stop us from asking questions before the motions are voted. This is our privilege and right as a voted legislator, and our job is to safeguard public justice. And we cannot allow people like you to collude with the developers. You can have your own political background, but as chairman, what you are doing now is very wrong. The issue of Rule 37A is not a new issue, and your precedents, other members had tackled the issues in the past, and a clear practice is already in place. And the legal counsel's interpretation was very clear. He never said that each member can only move one motion, and this is not our existing practice as well. I agree with the legal counsel that whatever we do, the purpose, the sole purpose is not to paralyze the council. But when you exercise your power, you cannot just invite specific members for chats. If you want to do it, you have to do it the proper way. According to Rule 37A, six members moved motions, but other members might potentially want to do the same. So before you draw the line, you have to allow enough time. You're compromising the Legislative Council's role in monitoring the government.
As we all know, under the Basic Law, the way we can monitor the executive is through the Finance Committee. We can exercise checks and balances here. You are also a legislator, and if you want to do anything, you must get the consent of members first. We agree that there should be a deadline for submitting motions. You should let everyone know, and I think we should come to such a consensus through discussion. You are here to ensure the Finance Committee can continue to operate, but you have to ensure that we can monitor the executive. This should take precedence, and as the legal advisor said, you should seek the consensus of members first. You are now damaging the whole council, not just the Finance Committee. You are undermining this power given to us by the community to monitor the executive. You have no right to curtail our powers. So let me repeat that a decision should be a joint decision of members here. Mr. Leung Yu-chung, when you were chairing the meeting, we kept calling for point of order, and you didn't give us any time. You kept saying that you would invoke para 45. What is 45? 45 is on voting. You keep saying that you're going to invoke 45. Now you're talking about the ROP 45 to kick us out. Why should a member who raised a point of order should be kicked out? And secondly, when you suspended the meeting, you said categorically that members, you yourself were chairing the meeting, and therefore you didn't have time to examine the motions, and then you asked for a pause to tackle the motions, but you didn't say that that was already the deadline. So you came all the way to here and you told us you were trying to work out an acceptable arrangement. You didn't say that it was already the deadline. Now you just said that it was the deadline was passed. That's not logical. When you chair a meeting, you need logic all the more. So you are inconsistent. You have no logic at all. So you must be consistent. You didn't make it clear. Even though the legal advisor said that we could not discuss or move motions endlessly. Well, if we're doing that, you should come up with a solution. You cannot just cut short our motions. This is the role and responsibility of a chairman. How can you all of a sudden announce that there would be no more motions allowed? This is unreasonable. And let me ask the legal advisor once again, can the chairman really do so? Can he do it all of a sudden? Has he fulfilled all the procedures in a meeting? We need to follow procedures. If he does that, then he is really being unreasonable. And I think you must come up with a procedure to end this or to resolve this. You cannot exercise or use your power as the chairman to cut short our motions. You do not have unchallenged powers. I agree that we must find a solution, but not in the way you proposed. Some members said, let's put to the court. I fail to see why we should make such remarks now. If that being the case, there's no need to meet at all. We just put things to the vote, and if unhappy, we go to the court. What kind of a council this is? Ms. Ho. First, you draw a line and stop our questions. So members who were on a queue to ask questions didn't get the chance. And then you stopped the stop motions. And before that, you didn't tell members clearly what you wanted to do next. And then, when members raised a point of order, in fact, point of order should be attended to as a matter of priority, but you disregarded points of order. When you saw people raise their hands, you said you are going to kick him out under Rule 45. How come? Even when we ask a point of order, there can be a reason for being kicked out by the chairman. Of course, we were yelling in our seats, but we did that with a reason, because you have not dealt with the matter properly. You didn't promise us that so long as we waited in queue, then we could then raise our point of order one by one. Well, we feared that you would put this item to vote, not allowing us to make any point of order. We had to yell. Well, as you saw, members were sitting in the space in front. You must give us enough time to speak, otherwise we will all come in front of you again. Yes, of course, the administration will have enough votes to bulldoze the motion. So I followed our convention to move a motion and to ask the administration to meet the villagers, to hear their grievances, to pacify them, and to work out with them an acceptable option to both parties. Well, that's a very important motion. Even this is such an important motion, is being ruled out of order by you. So I must mention this once again. People downstairs are very agitated, and I heard that pepper spray may be used. People are so angry because you want to bulldoze the motion because you have enough votes. You disregard the fact that you're trying to rob villagers of their property. You will cause people to attack this council as well as to put up a fight when it comes to other matters. So if you help the government to put this item to vote, actually you have to be held liable. All right, I have to make a decision now. Very soon, the third session is drawing to an end very soon. And for the sake of order downstairs, we will adjourn now. We will end the meeting now. Thank you.